Hey there, I'm Kevin Downey, and I run an agency called Kevin M. Downey where we help B2B companies with their sales and marketing efforts. You can visit our website at kevinmdowney.com. Okay, today's topic, the bare minimum marketing budget. And when I say marketing, specifically business development budget, if you're a B2B startup, what do you need to be able to spend to get off the ground and drive yourself inbound leads consistently day after day after day? Okay, so there's a lot of different numbers that go into this, but I'm going to break it down into some very basic things, and that way you have an understanding of what you really need to do to drive inbound leads. First, though, let's clarify what I mean by marketing budget, in this case specifically business development. So when you say marketing budget in companies, whether B2B or B2C, we're thinking about collateral and trade shows and social media and maybe PPC and maybe SEO and whatever else marketing wise that you might do. In B2B, none of that is going to drive leads consistently. PPC will work, but there's only so many searches for B2B type companies, products, and services. So at the end of the day, that's not going to be your anchor to drive inbound leads and business to business, right? So I'm specifically talking about a cold outreach mechanism or methodology or system that is going to find decision makers, identify pain point, and generate leads for your sales team. So what do you got to have at a bare minimum? So if you have an audience that's big enough, your anchor is going to be email. Cold email outreach done properly. And I talk about this in another video. What do you need to spend in order to do a cold outreach system that is going to drive you inbound leads consistently with email? So raw cost at a bare minimum, $200 to $225 a month. If you go into a server type structure and we look at Smart Lead, you might be looking at about $500, $550 a month. But somewhere in that range, if you can set it up and manage it, that's going to be your raw cost at a bare minimum to be able to do those things. Now, if you engage us as an agency, obviously we get paid a setup and management fee for all of that and running that for clients. But at the end of the day, that's your raw cost to get it done, okay? Then you've got to drive inbound leads. If you do not have salespeople and you're a principal, so you're a startup, you're a principal, you and maybe one of your partners, somebody is going to have to respond to those leads and follow up with them by phone. That is a critical component to make it really work. If you are not willing to follow up with people by phone, then email by itself isn't going to work well enough. You need to follow up with people by phone when they respond. You're going to send them stuff. You're eliciting a response. You're going to send them stuff, give them a call to action to go to your calendar, but you got to follow up by phone. So for most startups, in my experience, having done this for 10 years, business owners don't want to follow up by phone. They say they don't have the time, but they just don't want to do it. And that's perfectly fine. So if you do not have a salesperson that can follow up with leads, you need to have a BDR or SDR. If you're on a very thin budget, you've got to look at Latin America, remote reps in Latin America. Got all kinds of kids down there with college degrees from the United States. They've come here for college, gone back home, speak impeccable English. They have great business experience, sales and business development experience. You're going to need to get one of those people on board on your team. How much are we talking about? $15,000 to $20,000 a year base, so somewhere in the vicinity of $1,000 to $1,500 a month using fuzzy math. So now if your raw cost is somewhere in the range of a few $100s plus that rep, basically you could look at a bare minimum $1,500 a month on up to about $2,000 a month with a rep and email marketing running to give yourself a business development system at the lowest cost possible that's going to convert the leads into appointments and ultimately customers for your company. So that's the bare minimum. Now you want to engage my agency, now that total budget maybe becomes $3,000 or so. Okay, but at the end of the day, $2,000, $3,000, bare minimum $1,500 is what you're going to have to be spending to drive inbound leads and appointments for you and or another principal in your organization to build your business. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. If you have any questions, you need some help, reach out to us, kevinmdowney.com. Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate it. Best of luck in business, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.